sucks. Oh, I finally watched Antlers. So disappointed.
Well, what'd you think about Antlers?
Like the story they did was Native American thing. There is a Native American woman that speaks at the beginning of it, and she's speaking in a native language. I couldn't tell what language it is. I'm pretty sure it was probably like Navajo, the Dine language, but I can't remember. There wasn't any subtitles, and I couldn't find an actual transcript online to like translate it, so I was like, whatever. So they do follow more of like the native culture with the whole Wendigo thing. My problems with the movie were they revealed the monster way too early, which I think cheapens it. Horror does better when it spends a lot of the movie leaving you to your imagination, so your fears are what's fueling what's on the screen. I enjoyed that. They revealed the Wendigo too quickly. It stayed true to the Native American tale, which is it's a disease that a man would get from cannibalism, but they added their own twist to it. Like the way it works, the way it spreads is it's within a family. We don't get a full true Wendigo until the very end of the movie. And I do like the way it looked, but we barely got a glance at it. It's very short-lived. It felt more like a thriller at that point than an actual horror movie, and I was very disappointed in it.
You said both it was overexposed, but you didn't see enough of it. So like what do you mean like by that?
With it being a disease, the dad slowly develops into the Wendigo over time. And it's with the more people he eats, like the more blood he gets, essentially, or something like that. Because it's, a cannibalistic disease. It almost cheapened the monster for me, seeing it as a human and then like slowly evolve into something else. I prefer the more supernatural version of it where it's, you don't know if that thing is human, so it won't have emotion. It'll, just kill. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I prefer. And with them adding the more human element to it, the ending was like weird for me. So the kid that we see in the trailer, he does take care of the Wendigo that's up in his attic, and it's his dad. And then it's his brother because his brother gets exposed to the dad. The little brother stays like sickly. He doesn't change into anything. The dad changes into the Wendigo. What's the actress's name? She's like a school teacher, and the little boy who's taking care of the Wendigo is in her class, and she kind of notices that he's like the kid who gets bullied, the kid that doesn't have enough at home and may or may not be in an abusive situation. So she like takes a liking to him and wants to be his friend. And he's like, no, for trying to protect himself and them from the Wendigo that's in his house. She really takes him under her wing. The Wendigo escapes, killing a bunch of people, so he fully becomes the Wendigo. But since he was human before, he still wants to protect his children, killing anyone who's been in contact with his kids and trying to protect them. So end of the movie comes around, and it's like the final standoff with
Carrie Russell?
Carrie Russell. She kills the Wendigo, but then because she kills that Wendigo, the little brother starts turning. So she has to kill the little brother before he becomes the Wendigo. And then at the very end of the movie, they imply that the main kid that we were watching from the beginning will one day become the Wendigo, and that one day Carrie Russell will have to kill him. And that's something she's going to have to live with. The end.
Why her specifically?
Because she's like, she like adopts him.
Oh, okay.
Because forgot to say that. She like adopts him because the family dies, and she's the only one who's like been taking care of him. I guess it's a really small town, so I guess it's okay. I don't know, plot hole things. But yeah, that's just like that's the movie. And I don't know, like the whole time, like I wasn't interested the whole movie, and not once during the movie was like, ooh, this is creepy. Like I was expecting so much more out of it, but I think I just got myself too hyped with it because it was the Wendigo.
Do you think it treated the story of like the original story of the Wendigo, like its origins? Do you think it like respected that, or do you think it was appropriating culture?
I wouldn't say it's like appropriating culture. I think they took the original story and kind of added their own twist to it because, again, like I didn't grow up on a reservation or anything. So these are kind of just things that I heard like over time. The Wendigo was once a man, and it's like a diseased person who was a cannibal that becomes this thing, but it's more supernatural than anything. I can't remember exactly what the story is. The whole like hereditary family thing that they do with it, I don't think I've ever heard that in native culture. I think that's what kind of threw me off because I wasn't expecting that.
Have you played or like watched a Let's Play of Until Dawn?
Oh my God. I'm pretty sure I watched Mark, Jack, and Felix play that all at the same time when it came out, but I haven't like rewatched it or.
For that story of the Wendigo, it's like if you, I guess it's like on that mountain specifically, or in that general area, if you become a cannibal, you turn into the Wendigo. From what you remember of that story, like which do you think handles the myth of the Wendigo better?
Probably Until Dawn, because they leave it at that, like, mysterious become accountable and that's what happens, but there's really no other explanation for it. You don't get, more on like why it's like that. I don't remember much about that story, but that is one of the things I remember, is that there's not a lot about it. You know about it, it's this creature that's a cannibal, so it eats people, and it was once human. And I like the way Until Dawn did it. Theirs were really creepy. They looked really cool. They weren't necessarily true to the descriptions. They were mostly true to the descriptions. Usually the Wendigos are really skinny, really pale, really long features, like their arms and legs are super long, and they don't look human anymore, but when you glance at them, you can sort of tell where the human is. The only thing that's different is the head of the creature, which is like the elk or stag head usually. I don't know where that comes from, but that's usually how I've seen it like depicted and stuff, which is how it's actually depicted in Antlers.
So to you, it felt like it was too explained what happens with the Wendigo and the family.
Yeah, like I would have preferred it to be a more mysterious monster.
Is the family even like has native ancestry? Because they just look like white people.
I'm pretty sure they were just white dudes, and the dad was like a drug or something, and that's how he ran into the Wendigo.
Wait, he got it from a dirty needle?
No. He's in like a cave, and I guess this cave is where like the Wendigo lived, and he went in there with this dude, and I don't know what they were doing. There's something drug related in there, and then he like runs into the Wendigo, and then something happens, and suddenly now he's infected and is going to be the Wendigo or whatever. I don't even remember. Yeah, it was an interesting movie.